The New York Times is reporting that President Trump wanted to fire special counsel Robert Mueller last June, but backed down when the White House counsel Don McGahn threatened to quit. The Times cited 4 unidentified sources. Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett and Justice reporter Paula Reid have been working their sources on this story. Major, first, what can you tell us?
Well, the president may have talked about this New York Times story, dismissed it as fake news, but neither the White House nor McGahn issued a denial. And CBS News has confirmed last June, President Trump was angry with Mueller's investigation at the time just beginning and raised concerns about 3 possible areas of conflict of interest involving Mueller. And the president, we know, talked to friends about the possibility of firing Mueller. Top White House advisors told the president 2 things. 1, these areas of conflict of interest, though fascinating to the president, were by no means grounds sufficient to dismiss Mueller, and that doing so would be politically catastrophic. The president eventually dropped the idea. Since then, more than 20 White House staff members and nearly that many from the Trump campaign have submitted to voluntary interviews with Mueller and his team, and more than 20,000 pages of documents have been turned over. Clear evidence that the president has followed the persistent advice from his legal team, which can be summarized as follows: leave Mueller alone.
All right, so Paula, now the president said this week that he's looking forward to being interviewed by the special counsel. What impact does that report have on the negotiations between White House lawyers and Mueller's office?
Well, this report certainly adds an awkward dynamic to any possible interview between special counsel Robert Mueller's team and Mr. Trump. But if this does come up, the president or his lawyers, they'll have 2 key arguments. First, they're going to argue that the president had valid reasons for thinking that Mueller had possibly conflicts of interest. And they're also going to point out that he didn't actually follow through once he talked to his attorneys. But this report could also potentially make the president reconsider even sitting down with special counsel if he thinks he's not going to be treated fairly now. Remember, the president doesn't have to talk with investigators, but Mueller could then subpoena him to have to testify before a grand jury. And if the president's lawyers refuse that subpoena, that sets up a possible constitutional crisis over the subpoena of a sitting president. Jeff?
All right, our Justice reporter Paula Reid and Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett, thanks to both of you.